What's up, everyone? Mr. NoobTube Gamer. Today we're playing Call of Duty Advanced Warfare in 2024. I have a bad taste in my mouth just saying the words Advanced Warfare. Oh man, yeah, this is not going to be fun. That's not to say that Advanced Warfare is even close to being one of the worst FPS games or even one of the worst Call of Duty games you'll ever play. That obviously goes to the Modern Warfare reboot games and Call of Duty Vanguard and Black Ops Cold War. Those games are definitely much worse than Advanced Warfare ever could be. But that being said, Advanced Warfare is not a good game. And it's very hard for me to recommend it in 2024. Unless you're a fan of Advanced Warfare, like you loved it back in the day and it was one of your favorite games and you loved how Call of Duty finally went to a different setting because it was always either World War II or modern military. In this case, it was a completely different thing. It was the first futuristic Call of Duty game that we ever had. And part of me was excited about that. The idea that they were doing a futuristic COD, that's something I was waiting for years, actually, prior to Advanced Warfare. But the way they implemented it, I just didn't like the movement system. I didn't feel like it was very fluid, very enjoyable to play, like Titanfall was, or even Black Ops 3 and Infinite Warfare. Those games all had a much better movement system that just felt more natural. With the exosuits in Advanced Warfare, you're just jumping up in the air all over the place. It kind of just disrupts the flow of the game, and it's really hard to get into it. Like, I really struggled to invest myself in this game. I quit after just a couple of months, which back then I was really into Call of Duty, so that really took a lot for me to just stop playing after such a short period of time. But it just didn't really have much to keep me interested in the game, and the supply drops really turned me away. That was the first Call of Duty game to have the supply drops, and that was honestly the beginning of the end for Call of Duty. But to be fair, there are people who love Black Ops 3, and Black Ops 3 had a much worse microtransaction system than Advanced Warfare did. At least in Advanced Warfare, you actually had a pretty good chance of getting all the guns that you wanted without paying a single dime into the microtransactions. But in Black Ops 3, you can spend you can spend thousands of dollars on the microtransactions and still not be guaranteed to get any of the weapons that you actually want in the game. So yeah, Black Ops 3 is probably worse if you're just talking about the way they monetize the game. But there were other problems too, just besides the jetpacks and the microtransactions. The map design wasn't all that great. It was pretty lackluster, although there were some cool things where the map kind of changed over time and it kind of transformed midway through the match. I thought that was a pretty cool thing. But the score streaks, oh my god, the score streaks. I have played every single Call of Duty game known to man, and this game by far has the worst streaks in all of Call of Duty history. They are so weak and underpowered. There is no reason to actually fight to get on a kill streak, even when you fully upgrade them, because you know how Advanced Warfare had its own unique thing where you can upgrade kill streaks, make them more powerful. Even fully upgraded, some of these streaks were dog shit and completely useless and did nothing. Except for the Goliath, that thing put in some fucking work, but other than that, not really. Nothing really did anything for you. But I guess the overall gunplay and presentation was pretty well done, especially when you get to the single-player campaign, which is actually still one of my favorite COD campaigns of all time. Most people shit on Advanced Warfare's campaign, but I thought it was amazing, personally. This is by far one of the least played Call of Duty games in 2024. On PC, you're not going to get anybody. Don't even bother. On PS3 and 360, you still have a couple of people playing, but you're better off choosing between the PS4 or Xbox One version. Either one is fine. It still has a good amount of players in 2024 with DLC. So yeah, I mean, it's mostly confined to Team Deathmatch, so you won't have like Domination and all the other game modes too often. But I say, hey, for a 10-year-old game that was like a mid Call of Duty, I'd say the player count is rather impressive after all this time. If you're a Call of Duty enthusiast, you may as well add this game to your collection. But otherwise, I don't see much value in this game in 2024. I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm not just going to, like, say every time that I'm playing a game in 2024, oh, this game is good, just so I'm not pissing anybody off. Like, no, if I don't think a game is good, then I'm going to talk about it. Like, it was just so underwhelming. I hated the way the game moved. I hated the way it felt. I just didn't think that there was anything that the game truly excelled at. Like, looking back, like, oh my god, Advanced Warfare did this, like, really good. Like, even going back to Call of Duty Ghost, there are some things that I can talk about. I can talk about the create class system and the different perk combinations you can have, and even some of the great maps that were part of the DLC for Call of Duty Ghost. Advanced Warfare, though, it's just peak midness. There's nothing, like, aside from the streaks, like I said, like, there's nothing that's, like, downright terrible. And I guess I wouldn't say the movement is terrible. It's just lazy. Like, I guess there's a difference there. To me, it just doesn't really feel like they tried hard enough to really refine the feel of the game and make the jetpacks feel like something that is actually like a mechanic they added in that added a lot of depth and value to the gameplay, but it just wasn't. Not in this game. It's just people jumping around all over the place, and you're trying to, like, line up your shot with them, and they're just moving way too fast, jumping around everywhere, and it can get very frustrating. I think it's honestly the most frustrating part of the game by far. And I could deal with it if there was, like, other parts of the game that shined and excelled. Again, I can't really say that there is. Not in the multiplayer, and certainly not in the other game modes that were a part of this game. Like the exo zombies. Oh my god, they were just... I'm not even going to say, like, they were awful. It's just so forgettable, though. Like, I would definitely rather play, like, a whole session of Advanced Warfare zombies than Vanguard zombies or Modern Warfare 3 zombies. But that the bar is set really low when it comes to those games, and the zombie mode that those titles had, that it's less of a compliment on Advanced Warfare and more of just how bad that those were. Oh yeah, and there was also a survival mode that was equally as forgettable, if not more forgettable, because it's just, I think, you know, it was fine, I guess, but again, it's not something that I would like, oh my god, I have to boot up the game just so I can play fucking Exo Survival, you know? It's just mid all around, no matter what game mode we're talking about. Multiplayer, zombies, and survival. Campaign was actually pretty good, but who the hell plays Call of Duty just for the campaign? Nobody. But what I will say is that if you are a fan of Advanced Warfare and you loved it back in the day, it's still there for you to play. Player base is still there. No hackers that I have ever encountered, so that's also pretty good. It's just overall not a Call of Duty game that is worth playing. There's so many better options out there in 2024.